So the next topic what I want to discuss is about abstraction, another root concept. But let me talk about that with a simple example. I'm not directly give the definition. I'll tell you a scenario. Suggest me how you can write a best program. I want to create two objects, two classes, CD reader, DVD reader. Right? But the usage of both CD reader object and DVD reader object should be same. The way to use both objects should be same. This is the scenario. So now the point is how we go ahead and create such classes, CD reader class and DVD reader. Right? What all operations can I do on a CD reader? By using CD reader, what I can do? I can read a CD, write a CD. By using DVD reader also I can write a CD, write a DVD, read a DVD. Right? So I will just try to create two classes, CD reader and DVD reader, with those two methods. Right? Let's see. Just observe here. You need not. Okay, I'll just create new project for, and I'll name it as abstract and interfaces. So I'm going to give a demo of both. So first, with a practical example, I'm just creating a new class in a package com.mysys and say class is CD reader. So in CD reader class I want to have two methods, one for read and one for write. Public void write. Okay, generally for writing what I assume is I need to pass a byte array, the data in byte array. So if by using this byte array some logic should be present here which will write to the CD. So I'm not writing the logic, I'm just interested in writing the classes, designing the classes, how to design your classes. I'm not worried about the logic inside actually. Okay. So now this write method will take byte array and have some logic to write into CD. And just for our demonstration, I'll just write a system.out.println CD reader is writing. Similarly, I will write public void read and here I will write the logic for reading the CD. CD reader is reading. Right? So I wrote CD reader class, very simple, but similarly I want to write DVD reader. A class DVD reader. But in DVD reader also I want the similar methods, write and read. So what I'll do is I'll just copy paste this and I'll just change the logic. The logic is different. I'll say here DVD reader is writing, DVD reader is. The logic is different but method signatures are same. Now once you have these two classes, I want to tell one more thing in my application. Assume that the code inside write method is same for both the classes, DVD reader and CD reader, right? So now what all changes to be made so that we can avoid redundant code? The code inside write method, exactly, let's assume, instead of saying DVD reader is writing, let's assume that here the output is reader is writing, here the output is reader. The code inside write method assume that it is same for both DVD reader and CD reader. So is it not duplicate code? Did I duplicate the same method both in CD reader and DVD reader? So what to do now? To make it the best design, what should I do? To avoid redundant code, what is the concept we use? Yeah, inheritance. Yes. So what I will do is I will make a superclass for both, and I will make my CD reader to inherit and DVD reader to inherit. So when there is some common methods, when we identify some common methods in two classes, two related classes, it is better to extract that common method into superclass. So what I'll do right now is, so I'll just create a new class, reader. This is a new class, and what I'll do is I'll just cut this write method and paste it here, because write method is common. Okay, here I'll delete the write method. CD reader and DVD reader should extend reader. Similarly here also extends reader. Right? Now the design is good. There is no redundant code. So when you are designing your application, this is how you need to think. Wherever you find some duplicate methods, which is having same code, extract and take the superclass and make it right. That's fine. But read method is not same. So we have given the implementation. Now I will write one class reader util. This is a utility class which I am writing. What I want is, here I want public void read. I want a generic read method which can read from a DVD or CD reader. So first of all I'll write like this. Just tell me the problem. I'll make my read method to take DVD reader, one read method which will take DVD reader, and one read method which will take CD reader. So whenever you want to read by using CD reader, what you can do, you can call this method. Whenever you want to call, whenever you want to read by using DVD reader, you have to call this, right? But what should be the code inside both of them? Just simply reader dot read. Here also reader dot read. The method name is same in both of them, right? So here, don't you think that this is duplicate code? The code inside this read method also reader dot read. The code inside this read method also is reader dot read, right? These two are overloaded methods usually. Overloaded method, but the code inside them also is same. So I have to write two methods, then I want to write single read method. So how to write a single read method? Can you give me suggestions now? I don't want two read methods because anyway the code inside both of them is calling reader.read. Here it is calling dbreader.read. Here it is calling cdreader.read. So I don't want two methods in this case. I want to write a generic read method. How to do? Where?
CD reader.
CD reader.
You write the method called read.
In CD reader already there is a read method, correct? In DB reader there is a read method, correct? But actually this is utility class, some of the third party class, which is calling those methods.
Right.
Now I don't want two methods, I want a single method. Can I write like this? I'll delete this. I'll make this as reader. But reader method, is it having read method? A reader class, is it having read method? It's having only write method, but in subclasses they are having read method, it's same signature. Now what should I do so that this error should go? Write a read method here. Right? If there is a read method here in reader, this is a dummy method. This is a dummy method which does not have any code, but subclasses are overriding the method, right? So if I do like this, now tell me, to this read method, can I pass DVD reader object? Yes, because reader is superset of DVD reader. I can pass CD reader. So when I pass CD reader, reader.read will call read method CD reader. If I pass DVD reader object, it will call the read method DVD reader object, right? So a single generic method, right? But now the problem is, in reader class, I just wrote a dummy method without any body, even though I don't have anything to be written inside the body, just wrote an empty body, right? Now, if a method does not have any body, what you can do is, you need not write body, you can just write like this and declare that this is an abstract method. Right? A method which does not have any body is said to be abstract. Right? Now, if a method is abstract in reader class, there is no body, right? What if I can create an object of reader as a new reader? Is a class, right? If there is a class, I will be able to create objects of the class. Suppose if I am allowed to create object of reader, I will do new reader and then call read method. But what is the code to be executed when I call read? Nothing. So when there is one abstract method in a class, you should not allow the object of reader class to be created, right? So if you don't want object of a class to be created, you need to declare that class as right. So for an abstract class, you cannot create an object. That compiler itself will give you a compilation error if you try to create, right? Now tell me, I have some few logical questions. If one method, at least one method in a class is abstract, you have to make the whole class as abstract. Otherwise, what is the problem? If you don't make this class as abstract, you will be able to create object. If If you are able to create object, if you call read method, what code to be executed? Nothing. So it's not logical. So if at least one method is abstract, you have to make whole classes. Right? But what if there is no abstract method at all? Suppose if I give body to read method, empty body to read method, can the class be still abstract? Yes. Even though there are two methods here in reader, both are concrete. Concrete means a method which has body is called as concrete class. Or a class which is not abstract is called as a concrete class. So both the methods are having body, but still I made the class is abstract. Why? What is the purpose now? Earlier it was meaningful. One method was abstract. To make the classes abstract, it was meaningful. But now what is the purpose of making the class abstract, even though all the methods are concrete? Tell me. Yes. This class, for this class you don't want object to be created. What is the purpose if there is a class and no object? We can inherit. So abstract classes are just for inheritance purpose. Just for inheritance, you cannot create objects, right? So a class can be abstract even though all the methods are concrete or non-abstract. Okay, for now I will make my read method as abstract, right? So why I made my read method as abstract? Because I want to call read method on reader, right? Any doubts till now? What is an abstract class?
It defines only the property, functionality, and it doesn't define how it will be performed.
Correct. So a class which has only signatures of the methods, you cannot say like that. It's not 100%. A normal class which is having all implementations can also be abstract, right? Your meaning is correct, but not 100%. So abstract class means a class which cannot be instantiated, for which you cannot create object. Is an abstract class, right? If you make a class as abstract, you cannot create an object of it. Now another question: abstract class should have at least one abstract method, true or false? False. Be clear on these points. Okay. And one more thing, one more question: abstract class cannot have variables, true or false? False? True. Abstract class cannot have variables, I said. Can have variables. You cannot create object, right? Can inherit. So abstract class can have variables. So that means I can create some variable like this: private int I. Right? Now, can abstract class have a constructor? No. If it has a constructor, I can call this constructor. I will make a public constructor. Just say source generate constructor using fields. Okay. Yeah. Oh, there is no compilation error. See here. An abstract class can have constructor. Assume that there is no constructor, right? Assume that there is no constructor. What is the first line in the is there a constructor for DB reader? No. But in dot class file, it is there. It will be like this, empty dummy constructor, right? What is the first line inside the constructor? if you assume that the reader class is not having constructor, what will this call? Right? The abstract classes can have if constructor is not present in superclass abstract class, it cannot be inherited also. So abstract class have constructors, as abstract class can have variables, but just compiler will not allow you to create an object. Compiler will just restrict you. Otherwise abstract class can have everything. Right? Any doubts? So what is the advantage I got by making this reader class as abstract, and what is the advantage I got by making this reader class to have a read method? We understood about two types of polymorphism. Compare time. So which polymorphism are you observing here? Runtime. Whenever you are calling overridden methods on a superclass reference, you observe runtime polymorphism. So just because I had an abstract read method inside reader class, I was able to use runtime polymorphism. At runtime, which read method to be called is decided. If it was CD reader object, read method will be called as CD reader. Else on DVD. Right? So just by making the read method abstract, I was able to take advantage of runtime polymorphism. Right? Then one more requirement I am going to tell you. What is the main purpose of inheritance? To extend some functionality. To extend at least some functionality. Is my DVD reader extending some functionality from reader? What functionality? Write method is there, right? At least there is one method which is getting inherited. But now what I will do is, if I make my write method also as abstract, if a class is having an abstract method, in subclasses we should implement it. So I'll just keep my cursor here. It's giving me help. Add unimplemented methods. If I click write method, so I'll just say system.out.println DVD reader is writing DVD reader is right. Then simply again I'll just copy paste, go to CD reader. Here also I should implement that same method. I'll just see here. Right? Now CD reader, the reader class is having only two abstract methods. For now I'll just delete this. Only two abstract methods. My DVD reader is extending that reader, right? Can you say that DVD reader is extending some functionality from reader? Both the methods are abstract. So my DVD reader is not gaining any advantage by extending it. Right? Generally, why we extend? We want to inherit some functionality. Is it inheriting some functionality? No. Only signatures are there. There is no body. Right? So nothing. It's not DVD reader class is not gaining anything by extending it. But can I make my DVD reader class to extend some other class now? Is multiple inheritance supported in Java? No. One class can extend? Only one class. Now my DVD reader is extending reader. It cannot extend some other class. But is there any gain for DVD reader? No. Right? So in this case, when a class is fully abstract or 100% abstract, what you can do is, instead of making this as a class, you can make this as a interface. Interface is a keyword. right? Interface also is a class, I say. Do you agree? Interface also is a class. If you see dot class file is generated for reader now. If you see there in the build directory there will be reader dot class. So interface is also a class, but 100% abstract class. All the methods in an interface are 100% abstract class. Interface is nothing but 100% abstract class. So what is the advantage I gained by making this class as interface? Now I am sure, as I made this as interface, I am sure all the methods are abstract, right? So here coming to DVD reader, I will say instead of extending, I will say implements. A class implements an interface, right? As I am sure that here all the methods are abstract, I may to implement, right? Now my DVD reader is implementing reader. Can it extend some other class now? Right? So what you learnt, when a class is 100% abstract, make that as an interface, so that the subclasses can extend some other classes also, right? Now I'll make my CD reader also to implement. Right? So I just slowly introduced you to abstract classes, interfaces for a practical example. Any doubts till now? Let me know. Okay, now suppose if you are given functionality, so interface is a 100% abstract class. Interface also is a class. Can interface have variables? Can interface have variables? Okay, I'll just create a variable here, private int I. Oh, I'm getting an error. What is it saying? Illegal modifier for reader I. Only public, static and final are permitted. Okay, so instead of making it private, I'll make it as public. So what's the problem? Again it's giving me error. What is it saying? Blank final field I may not have been initialized. Did I make my I as final? No. But by default, the variables declared inside an interface are final. Whether declared or not, they are okay. Final means I should initialize there itself or inside a constructor. Does interface have a constructor? So I will initialize, right? But now, if I have a variable inside reader, how to access this variable? Can I create an object of interface? No, it is 100% abstract class. I cannot create an object of interface. So without creating object, if I want to access something, what should I do?
Use the name of the class.
Use the name of the class, but is it a static variable? By default, the variables declared in the interface are static. Whether you make it or not, it is by default how can you do here? If I just want to do system.out.println reader dot I, right? Suppose if I go and remove this is it giving me any error? No. By default, a variable declared inside an interface is public static final. Right? It is not having default action. It is public static final. No. That's a normal variable. You can make your variables as private also. but in an interface a variable is by default public static void. So without an object of reader can access, we call it as public and static. Right? And finally, you cannot change the variables. Right? Any doubts? Can an interface be non-public? That means it is having default access. That means, let me check. I'll just create com.mysys dot another package com.mysys dot other, some other package I wrote. That means a class in some other package cannot implement reader. So let's see. I just wrote a new class, some class, simple class X, and I'll try to make it to implement is it visible? Not visible. So interface can be having either public access or default access. Can it have private access? Private, there's no meaning at all, right? Private means only in the same. Protected? So interface can be either public or default, right? Any doubts till now? What is the purpose now? A default constructor. By default, a default constructor is there. You cannot define a constructor for reader. Tell me why. What is the purpose, main purpose of a constructor? To initialize instance variables. Are there any instance variables for interface? All the variables are static. There is no need to do that. Any doubts till now? It should be passed. Interface cannot define a initializer. No, in interface is not having static block also. Right? Any doubts? Okay, you are talking something? Now, okay, I'll just have a demo. Just write a demo class and I'll call this. I will write demo main. Here I'll create an object of CD reader. Is equals to new CD reader. Then I'll create read_readle. Okay, I don't want to create an object of read_readle, but I want to call read method directly. Yes. When a class is not having any instance variables but only methods, better to make all the methods as static. So reader_util dot reader, and I'll pass CD reader, right? It should call the method inside CD reader. CD reader is reading, right? What is this 10 actually? In CD reader, did I write something else? It's reading. Okay, in reader it will. Okay. Value of I printed. Any doubts? So if I pass DVD reader, yes, we'll call the read method on DVD reader, right? Now, one interface, can it extend some other interface? In one interface, can extend some other interface. Let me just show you with some example. I will create a new interface. See, these are way to create interface here. New interface. See, generally it's a convention to name the interfaces starting with I. You may or may not, but I'll just write here. I first interface. I'll have a method public void a, simple one method. Okay. Then I'll say new another interface. I second interface. I'll have one more method public void b. Two interfaces are there. Now I will write third interface. I third extends I first, comma, and here I will write one more method public void C. Now totally how many methods are there in C? 3 methods. The methods inherited from I first and I second, right? But now is it multiple inheritance? One interface is extending more than one interface, right? So multiple inheritance of interfaces is supported. One class cannot extend two classes, but one interface can extend two interfaces. Why? Why is this possible and why was multiple inheritance of classes not possible? Why was this allowed and why was that not allowed? Yeah, you can just okay.
Because the methods don't have, even if they are the same method in different interfaces, they don't have any point. So it's basically the same.
Exactly, correct. So I'll explain. I'll elaborate his point. Now, suppose if I first is a class, right? If I first is a class, then M might be method A will be having some body, right? Okay, just assume that in both I first and I second, assume that there is a method with same signature X. Right now, assume that X is present both in I first and I second, right? I third is extending I first and I second, right? How many methods are there totally in I third? A, B, and X is coming from two places, but having same signature. So X, shall I count it as 2 or 1? Because same signature, right? There is no body, right? You are just inheriting the signature. Signature is same. There is no problem. But if there are classes, X might be having different implementation in I first and I second. Which implementation to inherit? That is a problem. So when it is interfaces, there is no problem. So multiple inheritance in case of interfaces is supported by Java, but not for classes. So if somebody asks, Java supports multiple inheritance? What is your answer? Not for classes, but for interfaces. So many of them directly say multiple inheritance is not supported by Java. That's not correct answer. Multiple inheritance is supported for interfaces, not for classes. Right?
One class can implement two interfaces.
Yes. One class can implement
Two interfaces.
multiple interfaces, comma, I first comma I second comma I third. One class can implement n number of interfaces, so I just have to implement those methods, right?
I interface is not protected.
Why interfaces?
Not protected.
Why interfaces?
Not protected. Protected. Interface.
Protected. What is the meaning of protected? It is not accessible outside the class. But for subclasses, is there any meaning if I say I first, this is protected? Right? When a class is implementing, right? Is it a subclass or not? It's implicitly a subclass. So there is no meaning. If a class is implementing, see, CD reader is implementing I first. So CD reader is subclass of I first. Whatever is present in I first can be accessed in CD reader. So is there any meaning of making that I first as protected? It is exactly same as public. Even though you make it as protected, it is visible outside the subclass if you are inheriting it. So there is no meaning of protected, right? So interface okay. Yes.
Public by default. Or
No, if you don't give it as default.
We can't use it in other package.
Yeah, that's what I showed you an example, right? In another package there was a class X. If I try to implement I first is I first is the same package, huh? Okay, I'll try to implement reader. Reader is another package. It's possible. I'm just confused.
Reader may be public. You
Huh?
cannot change it.
Okay. Okay. Reader, if I make this as yeah, even I was when I saw that I was even surprised. Right? Any other doubts? Right? Clear about interfaces, abstract classes? Now tell me, what is the OOPS concept? Abstraction. Okay, you might have heard about it. You might be knowing about the definition of abstraction. I am sure that all of you will tell what is the definition of abstraction. What is abstraction? I think you can tell. Okay, fine. Okay, I think you people should be able to tell, because you are just fresh. I think you are long back you learned. I think you should be able to tell. Anyone? What is abstraction?
And it will tell what properties some object can do, but does not tell how it will be implemented. How it will.
Like the low level detail.
Abstraction means hiding. A class will hide the implementation, right? If a class is having a method, suppose CD reader class is having a read method. Read method is having some implementation, right? So if you want to read from a CD, what you will do? You'll create an object of CD reader and call read method. As a user, you are not worried about how it is implemented, right? You are just calling read method, it will work, right? How it is working, you are not bothered, right? If tomorrow the logic inside read method is changed, do you need to bother? No need, because the method signature is same. As long as the method signature is same, the implementation can change, right? So what do I mean here is, in my demo, what am I doing? I am calling CD reader dot, just see here, directly I'll call CD reader dot read. So now my demo, does my demo dot class dot java, does it know about the implementation of read method? No, it is just calling it. Tomorrow, if to improve the performance of my logic, if I change the implementation, the code inside read method of CD reader, is demo class affected? No, I need not change this code, right? So class is abstracting us from the inner implementation details. Create an object, call a method, it will work, that's all. As a user, you should just know how to call it. You need not worry about the inner implementation, right? Suppose if you are driving a car, do you need to know how the car works actually? No, you just need to know driving, that's all. How to drive. So the implementation of how car is actually working is abstracted from you. It works. You just accelerate, it will accelerate. You just apply brake, it will brake. Right? So you need not worry about the implementations, it is abstracted from you. So class is an abstract data type. Do you agree? Class is an abstract data type.
Contains the implementation.
Okay, that's why I took the concept here. Abstraction is a concept. Abstract class is different. Abstract class, this is different. Abstraction is a conceptual thing. Abstraction means hiding in inner implementations is called abstraction. A class is an abstracted data type, because if you have a class that may have a lot of methods, right? If I just give you this class X and ask you to use it, you can just use it without knowing how these X methods are implemented. Right? A class is an abstracted data type. Right? Now what is encapsulation? Yes? Yeah.
Data entry of method.
Huh?
Data members inside data.
Grouping of data members inside a class. No. Binding your variables and methods together is called as encapsulation. Capsule, putting everything in a capsule, binding together. In a class, what are you doing? You are actually binding variables and methods. See here, actually, CD reader. Am I telling this CD reader from which file to read? Right, actually till now, I just wrote, I didn't actually write the implementation of read method. But if I'm using CD reader, I should say from which file to read, right? So CD reader may have a class, may have a variable, private string, file name, from which file name, right? And in the constructor of CD reader, is a class and is having a private variable called as file name, and I'm giving a constructor for it. Suppose if this is a way, so now I want to read from a file. What do? I will create an object of CD reader and pass the file name. This is initialized, and then directly call methods, right? So instead the read method, I may be using file name. Instead of read method or write method, I might be using the variable name, right? So can I say that my read method is dependent on these variables? Yes. So my read method is dependent on this variable. That means if I change the file name, the output of read method also may change. So here actually the methods which you are writing in this class are using the variables. If we change variables, the method implement the output of the method may also. So what we are doing is in a class we are just binding the variables and methods together, right? If we change the variable, the method working also will change. So when you are creating objects, you give all the inputs required. Then you can use the objects as required, right? Then you can call the methods on and off. So encapsulation means we are binding the variables and methods together. Methods are acting upon the data, right? So what is abstraction and what is encapsulation? You understood. So we'll take a break.